Greetings, everyone. I'm going to be behind the camera for this one so I can show you guys in some detail what I would like to discuss with you tonight. I'm going to compare blades and brightness of a couple different sabers. The main question is, are saber blades interchangeable between lightsabers? So I'm going to compare my Vader's Vault Hero and my Ultrasabers V3 Initiative. Not comparing the sabers themselves necessarily, although I will say, as a preface, my Ultrasabers is a tri setup. Vader's Vault Hero has 2 green dies with a white die for flash on clash. This stunt saber, I opted for tri-cree setup instead of just the single one. So this will automatically make the 2 a little brighter just by default. So let me do this. I'll do it in quiet mode. So that's the Vader's Vault 2 cree, and this is that one 3 cree. I don't know if you can actually really tell the difference in those two. The Vader's Vault is flickering just because of the settings I have. So, I don't know, just looking from here, they actually look a little bit more comparable. It's just that there's a third one in there. So, I don't know. Maybe the saturation of light suggests that the Vader's Vault is actually a little bit brighter, a little bit more intense. But in any case, that's what we've got here. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and put in the blades, the respective blades. This is my Ultrasabers Ultra-Edge Midgrade. You can see it's not very thick. It's a mid-grade blade. And my Vader's Vault blade. They're both the same thickness, pretty much the same thickness. They both have diffusion film. And they're similar to each other as far as coloration goes. I can discuss that here in a second here. But I'm going to go ahead and install them in their proper, well, I'm just going to sit them in. I'm not going to screw them in. That would just take more time. I'm just going to seat them into their sabers now. And I will bring them before you. Bring him before us then, says Mace Windu. All right, now, let me go ahead and get this in quiet mode so that way you can hear me better. Okay. So here are the 2 sabers, side by side. Okay. Now, Vader's Vault Hero has 2 greens. My Initiate V3, there's too many Ultras, I'm getting tongue-tied. Now, noticing between the 2 of these, at least at the base, you will see that the Ultrasabers has an advantage. You can see the color saturation is brighter here. That's why it looks more bluish. It's just color saturation in the camera. That means that it's brighter. And you can see that the brightness lasts pretty much all the way through. Put the Vader's Vault in front, you can see that it's darker. From the edge, it gets a little, or from the end, it gets a little darker than that. I find that the mid-grade Ultra-Edge stays pretty evenly all the way through. This Vader's Vault has a little bit more flare at the bottom, and it's maybe not quite as intense as it reaches the top. So that suggests that the Ultra-Edge is, or that suggests maybe a couple things. One of them, that the tri-cree is naturally going to be stronger than the dual cree. Should we say that? So now I'm going to switch the 2 blades, and let's just see what happens. And I ordered it as a 32-inch blade of the Ultrasabers, but it actually comes out closer to 33 inches, which is kind of nice because the Initiate has like an extra inch of seating distance, seating depth. Now let's compare the 2. And what do you know? To my eyes, behind the camera here, behind my phone, it appears that they're about equal now. I've switched it. The Ultrasabers has the Vader's Vault blade, and my Vader's Vault has the Ultrasabers blade. And if you look at them, they actually look, I think, about equal, comparable. I would say that in person, the Vader's Vault blade still shows a little darker. Now, also understand that this is my 32-inch blade. It's a little bit beat up. I've had it for a while, and I've, whacked it on a few things outside. But at least I would say that the strength comparison is closer. Now, that suggests a couple things. That suggests that the Ultrasabers Midgrade Ultra-Edge blade is brighter than the Vader's Vault blade. Okay? It suggests to me that the Ultra-Edge wins out over the Vader's Vault. Now, let's just maybe examine both of these blades a little bit closer. Just the blades themselves. So here's my Ultrasabers, and here's my Vader's Vault. Well, let me just do this here. Just examine my Vader's Vault blade here. You can see a little bit of the maybe mottling, perhaps. Come on, see if you can focus in. Thank you. You can see that it's got a little bit of mottling, whatever. It's been used. It's been used, so you can kind of see some of that going on. It actually almost looks a little bit like a Ripper blade. Like that, you know how Sidious has that green Ripper blade? Godspeed to Sidious. I hope you're well. I'm nervous for you. I pray for you. I hope that you're well. We haven't seen you in, 2 months, 3 months? So anyway, looking at this blade reminds me a little bit of a Ripper blade just because of the way that it is there. It's a little bit more transparent than the Ultrasabers blade. Needs my hand so it can focus on that. Now let me show you for comparison what the Ultrasabers looks like. The Ultrasabers has a much more white, pure white texture. It's also shinier. The Vader's Vault has a little bit more of a, I'd say, matte finish, or maybe it's more satin. Maybe it's a satin finish. Whereas the Ultrasabers is glossy. Just a shiny, smooth plastic. But it's just that whitish gray all the way around. Focus. Come on. Yeah, it's just focused all the way around. Let me also... so I guess being the Ultra-Edge, it carries the light better. And so you compare that with carrying the light better with the Ultra-Edge. I don't know how the regular Ultrasabers blade looks. I think it's like a little bit more see-through. And so it kind of looks like it's a plastic tube. It looks more like a plastic tube. Whereas I like this, how it carries the color all the way out. I like the more even distribution of color rather than the looking, I don't know. Seeing that see-through plastic, kind of like this, just, I don't know. In person, yeah, I just like the look of the Ultra-Edge better. Let me also point out one thing here. It's on a slightly different subject. You can see how used this thing is. Again, this is used in my Hero. You can see you can see just how shallow this is. I have, of course, my Hero has the emitter extension, because otherwise you'd only go up to like here is where the blade retention screw would go. I mean, I'm just roughing it. I don't know exactly, but that's not enough for dueling. You need it out here so you have at least a solid inch of seating in there. But yeah, like I said, this has been used. Now, obviously, I've only had my Ultrasabers for a little bit, not nearly that long. Let me show you here. Just the very couple times I've used it. That's one of them there. You can see the big difference. Look at the, right about here. Focus. This right here is my insertion depth. You've got this whole much. It's like nearly twice as much as my Hero. So that makes the Initiate V3 much better for dueling, I would say, because the blade will stay in there longer. But let me point out this here. This makes it look like the plastic of this one gives a little bit more, because you can see a pretty significant dent. I mean, I tightened it pretty hard, probably harder than I should have, but you can see that big dent there. So I guess you do need to be careful about how strong. This right here was what it came with. And actually, when I was playing with it outside, I swung it so hard that it flew out after swinging it for a long time. You know, it just came loose and it slipped out. So that one is a bit of a divot there for maybe screwing it a tad bit too tight. But you can see on the Vader's Vault, it does not have that same sort of give, even though I've also done it pretty tightly in especially different things. So I would say that the Vader's Vault Hero blade is tougher for being the same thickness. I think it's a tougher grade of the polycarbonate blade. Tougher than the Ultra-Edge Midgrade blade. So, can the blades be interchanged? Yes, they can. You can experiment a little bit to maybe amplify. I would say you can use the Ultra-Edge to help amplify the brightness of your lightsaber. Whether or not it's the Tri-Kree or not, because like I said, my Initiate has a bit of an unfair advantage, you could say, because it has 3 of these lights. Let me try this. Oh wait, I'm looking and trying not to look at it. It's got 3 of them firing off in here, you see, as opposed to my as opposed to the Vader's Vault, which only has the 2 firing, and then the third one is the flash on clash. You see, like that. So the Ultra-Edge, I think, will give you a bit of a brightness boost. Okay. But the Vader's Vault blade is perhaps stronger. Even if it doesn't carry the light as smoothly down the blade. But, I mean, it's just a different texture. People, they like different qualities about it. So, anyway, that's just a very brief look at blades. The 2 blades that I have, the 2 different blades that I have. So I don't have any Saber Forge blades like the V4 Infinity blade. I don't have that. I don't have any Day blades. But this is just a very simple comparison between the 2 to see, is the Tri-Kree worth it? Well, I think so. It certainly at least keeps up with the Vader's Vault. With the 2, because maybe the Vader's Vault is just simply their stronger dies, because like I said, it looks a little bit more intense even for just being 2 of them. But the Tri-Kree of this one, I think keeps up with it, even if the light is not as concentrated with the 2, but it's a little bit more spread out. So anyway, I think that it makes it worth it. Especially since it's a stunt saber, you're not going to have flash on clash anyway. You might as well just spend a few extra dollars and make sure that it's going to be as bright as everything else that you've got. So, anyway, that's what I've got for you for this video. I hope it's informative. Those really blinding bright lights, remember? Don't look at those things. They hurt. Don't look at any of these things. They really hurt. So, anyway, I hope you enjoy that. So, as always, may the Force be with you.